what to do. You got me down, make my world spin round. I love you, what to do now? Cause the problem is I love you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our Best of Boston series. This month we're doing a pasta fest, hitting up 3 different places in the greater Boston area. First, right behind me is Renos Place. If you want pasta in Boston, you are neglect to not try out Renos Place. Second, we're gonna go to Pammy's, located in Cambridge. Third, we're gonna be heading up Giulia, which is another pasta place in Cambridge. These 3 places, unbeknownst to myself, are all named after real people who have a lot of commitment to very personalized experiences with pasta. And so I'm looking a lot forward to this. Really excited to go into Reno's, so let's go. We're inside of Renos Place, and this place is not your hole-in-the-wall hidden gem. It is a very overtly gorgeous, well-frequented gem in the neighborhood of East Boston, very residential corner of Boston. In general, this place has been featured on so many Food Network shows, officially approved by the Triple D. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, a show by Guy on the Food Network. I personally got really excited about this place because I watched a food vlog from Mark Ween, who I frequent in terms of his channel on YouTube. He had ordered a spread and it immediately looked like handmade from scratch. This place, it's a family-owned place. They treat you like family, and the guy who it's named after, Rino, this place is now owned by his son, Anthony. This place is really well known by locals and people from like Florida who drive here just to try the pasta here for its first and foremost fist-sized lobster ravioli, large enough to feed a small or medium-sized army. So we're definitely gonna get the lobster ravioli today. And the second dish we're gonna be trying today is the Rino special. It's phenomenal, according to the waitress, with cavatelli pasta. So you can really customize your pasta selections here as well. Your nourishment pre-pasta is here. Literally classic bread with salted butter here. Gotta eat the free bread. The experience is very like free bread. We're just gonna try this special first. You can really appreciate the volume of animal in here. It also has like 3 different kinds of mushrooms. I think there's shiitake, porcini. Just got some grated cheese on this, so this looks really, really, really appetizing. This is like always happening to me. But oh my gosh. I'm just pretending to cut it. I feel instinctually like I want to put some shrimp on this bite. Get some pasta in here too. It's already too big for my mouth, but I'm gonna do it anyways. That almost feels like it doesn't fit in my mouth. This cavatelli looks almost like hand-rolled. A perfect flute of delight in absorbing that cream and that sauce. I want to drink this cream, it's so good. Oh, I was a big fan of Alfredo growing up. I remember asking my mother to make me the ragu Alfredo over like ramen noodles, like Maruchan noodles without the sauce packet. I would just put Alfredo sauce over ramen noodles and eat it. So here's the chicken. It looks really juicy. I think that is chicken breast, but it tastes as delicate and tender as chicken thigh. That was really impressive. This shrimp looks really good as well. Very decent size here. I always like pink shrimp. It's a sign of freshness. Very juicy and absorbent. It's definitely, I think, like a jumbo shrimp experience. Here's the veal. This veal cut apart just as easily, if not more easily, than that chicken, which is so impressive to me because I'm not an experienced veal eater. Wow. That veal has almost like a porky flavor because of how rich the flavor is. It does taste a little beefy too, of course, because it is beef. And veal is a young calf. This is a really good dish. Really hearty, really interesting. So many different elements, tons of flavor, and just like leftovers for days. Okay, we must move on in our journey now. So here is the lobster ravioli. 6 very plump, fist-sized raviolis here. You see that light reflecting on the surface of this dough. Magnificent. Oh, this is so beautiful. I'm just gonna do a one-handed cut because I'm over this struggle. Just split apart this ravioli so you can see how many layers of lobster and ricotta cheese is in this thing. It's like THICC. Look at this tower. Wow, I think I like this better than the Reno special. In that way, I'm glad I had the Reno special first so I could say this. That lobster and tomato cream sauce is palpable. The big secret of this too is that they dash it with brandy, and that brandy really comes and brings it all together. I can tell in my physical hand motions that I'm feeling a lot more strongly about this lobster dish. Let's eat like just lobster. That was phenomenal. I might as well have ordered a lobster dish. The problem with ravioli sometimes is like, I also FOMO being able to see the lobster that I'm eating because I feel like I've paid for the lobster, but I can't see it. But the fact that there's chunks of visible, identifiable lobster in the sauce not only makes the aesthetics, but it totally elevates your trust as a consumer in like the ingredients. It just looks so delectable and tantalizing. I'm aware I'm talking very loudly about very sensual terms with food right now because I'm really excited. I'm most impressed by the sauces here. It penetrates everything. It's super flavorful. One of the biggest issues is when people have pasta, even though the sauce is present, it's not like enough. But here it's like the sauce is like always there for you. You never feel like you need more of it. It is here to support you and make your journey more enjoyable. With both of these dishes, there's nothing that I feel like is missing. They are homemade, they are hearty, they are satisfying, worth the money, worth the drive, worth the experience, worth a lot of things. If you're gonna order one dish and you want something that you can drive from Florida for, I would drive from Florida for this dish, the lobster ravioli here. This one is verifiably and significantly more impressive. We're gonna turn off the camera, maybe finish most of this and eat more for lunch tomorrow. We're gonna go to Pam's Place next. Try the pasta there. So welcome to Pammy's. This is a completely different kind of restaurant, co-owned and co-founded by a husband-wife team, Chris and Pam Willis. They see Pammy's as an extension of their kitchen. It's a large space, really well decorated, really homey. Because it's so innovative, new American, there are some reviews online who call this restaurant the ultimate-ish. It's like not fully Italian, so it's like Italian-ish. So I'm really excited to explore and to eat the ishness here. I'm looking at the Bay Scallop Crudo. It has pig ears in it. As for the two main pastas, I think I'm gonna go for the lumache and the malfadine. Lumache actually means snails in Italian. So the pasta is actually snail-shaped. The cream not only is spiked with gochujang, it's made with a blend of lamb, pork, veal, and chicken liver. The malfadine is honeycomb tripe. I love honeycomb tripe in my Asian dishes, but I've never had it before in pasta. Quick forward/starter to our pasta experience. House-made sourdough bread, 3 robust pieces. That sourdough is so squishy. This feels really, really good. Okay. I'm really happy with this bread. Very well dusted on the outside, so really, really good texture surrounding this pillowy flesh of the bread. This might just be the softest bread I've ever had. It's like an accordion. I'm glad they only gave us 3 pieces. Our base scallop crudo just came out. I was informed that there's chartreuse gel here too, which must be the green. And I can see the pig ears just rusting so beautifully and happily on top of the scallops. I'm getting a pig ear with scallop. Oh my gosh. That comes in stages. Stage 1 tasted like lime flavored tortilla chips, and the pig ear is so crispy, so it kind of is reminiscent of the tortilla chip. Once I bite into the scallop, it is so tender, and it almost tastes like biting into like a lychee. It is so juicy
It's amazing. The scallop is like serious about its life. And then like the chartreuse is like a tender jelly, slightly sour, additional layer of ishness. Taste the grapefruit by itself. No bitterness to be found in that grapefruit. I'm gonna just have this pig ear to taste this by itself. Wow. This is like pig ear chips and retains its pig earishness. This dish is made so much better by this pig ear because it really brings that element of crispiness. This is a beautiful dish. I'm here for it. So this is the lumache. Looks like it's topped with some serious shaved parsley. All of the meaty, hearty, rich, thick beauty. And those snail-shaped pieces of pasta look really, really appetizing. Make sure we dip it really well in the sauce. That looks really good. Immediately started nodding as I was just touching it with my lips. Really flavorful. Like, it's got a serious saltiness. You gotta be ready to be arrested by flavor. Thick, creamy, spicy, tanginess. I mean, I don't think I'd taste the chicken liver, but there's definitely that really hearty meat flavor. The pasta itself is very al dente. So it is very chewy and it absorbs a lot of that meat flavor, which is why that saltiness and that pungent flavor comes out fully. It seriously is a twist on the bolognese because I don't really taste any of that traditional bolognese. It feels uniquely fusion. There's like fused meat cream sauce that you can catch in each forkful, in this case, that very delightfully adds to that overall meaty flavor and texture. Intense is a really good word for this dish. It really packs that meaty, spicy punch. If you like sharp, intense, rich, deep, slightly spicy flavors, you would like this dish a lot. All right, this is the malfadine. This is the one with the tripe, garlic chili oil, and also labna, which is twice strained yogurt. Greek yogurt is once strained, topped with some basil, and I think there's very generous Parmesan cheese shavings on top. So we're gonna dip deep into this because I want to catch some of the labna. Ooh, and it looks like these noodles almost are kind of like that lasagna, and oh, that picks up a lot of that labna at the bottom. Some of this stuff that's caught up in my fork is actually the tripe itself. The noodles and the tripe are both quite long and springy. It's hard to distinguish them. Wow. I would never call this pasta not salted enough. I don't think it lacks flavor. That's the biggest thing with this dish. Wow. I think what I really like about this is that there's a little bit of that tripe flavor, which is like kind of a little bit more interesting to the side, but it adds texture because it's chewy. And also the noodles, because they're longer, they're also springier, and I can immediately taste that chili oil throughout. This is probably the most unique flavor profile of anything we've had so far. I don't know quite how to describe it in one word. The last one was like intense. This one, I don't know, special. So many different textures and flavors at once. So crazy how many different things got packed into this. Very different pasta dish than the last one, but the common denominator is flavor. The appetizer felt very different than these two dishes. Super refreshing, super juicy. These are like deep, rich, hearty cooked flavors. I think this restaurant definitely really good at intense pasta flavors, meaty, thorough, definitely 10 out of 10 on the uniqueness scale. Layers of flavor and texture put together. Probably never had pasta that tasted quite like this. It's really interesting.
Here I am outside of Giulia. It is a little frosty today. I'm really excited for this third pasta place. It's right along one of the main streets that runs down the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts Avenue, or we call it for locals, Mass Ave. This is a lot more rustic, traditional, Italian flavors, homemade pastas and ingredients with a modern flair. So let's go check it out inside of Giulia. We're seated inside of Giulia now. This place is co-owned by another power couple. Mike and Pam founded and opened this place
after Via Giulia, the street that they were standing on when they decided to open this restaurant. This is a really cool atmospheric reflection of the warm cooking culture I think defines their family. Big focus is on handmade pastas, fresh off, fresh made. They actually have a pasta table in the middle of this restaurant where they hand roll their pastas right before they serve it for dinner. So of course we're focusing on 2 pasta dishes. We're gonna do squiddy linguine. Super underrated because not everyone is a big fan of seafood pasta. The second, pappardelle with wild boar, one of their renowned across the country dishes. People are raving about this across the internet, novices, professionals, food critics. So we had to try that one. I mean, pappardelle is one of my favorite textures, flat, satisfying, huge slurp factor. Prior to that, we got warm semolina cakes, and these come with fonduta, roasted mushrooms, and black truffles. So starting with the bread here, look at how well this olive oil is just drizzled on top of this spongy bread. Looks like you don't really need to dip it, but why not? This olive oil is high quality. Really excellent, spongy, responsive, olive oil infused bread. I also can taste some salt drizzled over this bread. I always appreciate salted bread. This is completely topped with shaved truffles. It's like a forest floor kind of situation. I can smell the truffle just like emanating. Oh my gosh, it feels like a cheesecake spongy dessert, and I can feel the heat just like vibrating from this. Wow, that is like finesse. That tastes expensive. You can taste that melted cheese saturated on top, and it's completely savory. It tastes divine. I mean, it's such a good, delicate, but thorough and hearty flavor. If this was less expensive tasting, I would have put it all in my mouth at once. I really like how the truffle is shaved too. It makes it more attractive and delicate. Scooping this extra truffle up just to taste it because I don't frequently purchase truffle. Wow. That's something that I really appreciate on its own, but it just belongs on top of something else. It's really hard to just eat it by itself and just feel like, I highly recommend these cakes after 2 bites. They're worth many bites, but I suggest you savor them because there's not much of it. This is the squiddy linguine, and it has spiced red wine braised cuttlefish and black olive cacao nib breadcrumbs on it. Purple red thing looks like that's the cuttlefish, and you can see that squidding pasta underneath all of this. I'm definitely gonna try to get a cuttlefish in my first bite with this pasta, and you see how satisfying that airy, smoky heat is. Wow, that's so interesting. We're gonna taste some deep zest in there. The cuttlefish, super tender. You can totally just stab it with your fork really easy. That pasta texture is a lot more delicate and tender than I expected. It's like a beautiful kind of ropiness. On the menu it says spiced red wine braised cuttlefish. That kind of reminds me of mulled wine. Baking spices like clove, cinnamon. The fact that they use baking spices to braise the seafood with the red wine, it's kind of a mind-bending, mind-breaking dish. If you're really someone that likes going after novelty fusion dishes, I highly recommend this. It's a very unique dish. So next is the flagship dish that everyone is like obsessed with here. Pappardelle with braised wild boar, juniper, black trumpet, and parmigiano. So that's the cheese on top here. It's a big hearty slice of boar here. Just like testing the viscosity. Kind of a side view. This looks a lot thicker, less see-through, and more substantial than that previous pasta. I'm gonna get this entire bite of pasta here. This is superior. The meat is really well braised. I don't really know if you have a context for this because I don't think I do, but kind of like really well cooked rabbit. The meat I would come back to over and over again. Really chewy and fall apart in your mouth. So easy to bite into. This pasta texture is my favorite here so far. I think hearty is the word that comes to mind with this plate of pasta. Not overpowering, it's not overly salty, overly flavorful. It's just really well-rounded and things come together. So this restaurant The appetizer, like mind-bendingly appetizing. It like reminded me of the emotions I have when I eat dessert without doing the damage that dessert usually does to me, so that I could still appreciate the pastas, which is a really skilled thing to be able to do as a chef. Of the two pastas, the squidding pasta is like intellectually stimulating. However, the wild boar pappardelle is emotionally stimulating and emotionally satisfying and emotionally therapeutic. It transports you into a realm of love and like meaty glory. Definitely think if you're gonna order one pasta dish, go for the pappardelle with wild boar. Really worth trying. If you're looking for something a little bit more pasta category defying, I would definitely recommend also the squidding. The fact that they're homemade in and of themselves is a good reason to try any pasta on that menu. This restaurant, really great environment, really amazing ambiance at night, all around strong recommendation. Love it.
All right, so this concludes our pasta theme tour at number 1, Renos Place. Number 2, what was the number 2 called? Pammy. And lastly, Giulia. Renos Place is my heart language for portion size, delectable and soul food like. If you just want that down to earth experience for pasta. In terms of aura and ambiance, I would say Giulia is definitely a winner. Take this with a grain of salt. I think Giulia is kind of a combination of Rino and Pammy's. Rino's for the handmade pasta and Pammy's for more of that novel, innovative, modern vibe. Giulia holds on to the essence of Italian pasta, but adds a really fun flourish. Pammy's, still really cool, but I just ate a piece of snow. Because this is a pasta video, I wouldn't vote it as top notch in terms of this triple pairing of restaurants. But if you want amazing apps, check out Pammy's. I'm really excited for the next time we get to do this. But for now, thanks and bye.